nicely. That's delicious. Cooking them in a fatty, dairy-based medium produces a nice contrast to the starchiness of the potato. En papillote. So now we're gonna cook potatoes in a method called en papillote, which is a French term that means in parchment. We're gonna take our thinly sliced potatoes, put them in the middle of our parchment, olive oil, salt. We're gonna fold that up into a nice little package, and then we're gonna pop that in a 400-degree oven for 45 minutes. Okay, so you can see that the potatoes have kind of steamed in their own situation. They didn't take on any color, they're just kind of cooked through. They're tasty, but it's pretty much just a steamed potato. This would be much more delicious if there were other seasonings in there that could kind of lend some flavor to the potatoes. Hasselback potato. We're gonna take a peeled potato and we're gonna take a very sharp knife and we're gonna make thin slices all down the potato about 1/8 of an inch apart to create layers that will all crisp up into a little bit of melted butter and put it in a 400-degree oven for 40 to 50 minutes. This is kind of cool. It kind of looks like you took potato chips and then stuck them together and then that's not really what it's like at all. The edges are brown, but they're not crispy. Honestly, this is probably cooler looking than it is tasting. Not my favorite way to cook a potato. Steamed potato. We've got our outside, it's nicely cooked, but there's no salt at all. And that's just not how steaming works. It's not bad, but it isn't bringing much to the table. Ironed potato. We're gonna put the potatoes in a foil pouch with a little olive oil and salt, and then just go to town with this hot iron. Let's take a look at what's going on inside. Yeah, those are not fully cooked. I would not recommend this method. Instant pot potato. Potato goes in, add some water to create steam, seal it up, and let her rip for 15 minutes on high. Now we're gonna boiled potatoes. All right, so this first potato went into salted water that was already boiling. These other potatoes went into salted cold water, and we're gonna bring them up to a simmer. These are all gonna take different amounts of time to cook and are gonna cook really differently. A good way to tell if a boiled potato is done is if you can insert a sharp knife into it and meet no resistance. So this is the potato we dropped directly into boiling, something this big and dense in already boiling water. It's cooking from the outside in. But it's definitely fully cooked, but this middle part has cooked a lot less than this exterior here. Not ideal. So this is the potato that we started in cold water and slowly brought up to a boil. No bursting, no exploding, and that's because the potato was given a chance to come up to temperature along with. Yeah, that'll work. At this point, I'm gonna start adding some hot butter and milk, pinch of salt, keep on mashing until we get something relatively uniform. So our hand mashed potatoes are mostly incorporated, but still a little bit chunky. The flavor's good, but overall the texture of the handle and these tiny little pieces of potato are gonna come out. Then we're gonna stir in some liquid fat, and there you have rice mashed potatoes. So with the ricer, you start off with much smaller pieces of potato, and it's a lot smoother and more uniform. It's easier to incorporate the fat. Really, really creamy. This is more of your restaurant style mashed potatoes. It's just a little bit more elegant. Stand mixer mashed potatoes. We mashed them with a masher, we mashed them with a ricer. Now we're gonna try using a stand mixer with a paddle attachment to just see what happens. So these potatoes got all kinds of blunt force trauma. It has almost a dough-like consistency, which is what happens when potatoes get overworked. Ugh, yuck. Salt and some hot fat, and wow, there you have it. Some food processor mashed potatoes. So these look really similar to the ones we made with the stand mixer. They have this kind of doughy sort of consistency. It definitely seems a little bit better incorporated and more uniform. Oh,